Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another review for Halloween month, and I'm reviewing another Goosebumps episode, another favorite of mine, and which I have the book and the DVD of it right here, which I also had on old VHS, but stored away like all the rest of them. But I enjoy this episode a lot. I enjoy then part 2, which that came out first though, but starring the famous he's like the face icon of the Goosebumps series, Slappy the Dummy, and that is of Night of the Living Dummy 3. Here's the DVD, in which I have here. There's the old book, the original book. So, yeah, Night of the Living Dummy 3, which I enjoy. I like Night of the Living Dummy. I like the episode Night of the Living Dummy 2. I do, but I like number 3 a bit more. And this was released in 1997, year after, so I forget what season though, but still, I enjoyed the part 3. And as the story goes, in this one, there's this family. What was the brother's name and the sister? Yeah, Trina and Dan. Yeah, Trina and Daniel. Their cousin Zane is coming over to stay with them, and which they always constantly pulling pranks on him. Like one time they pulled one prank too far on him. Like they carried him when he was asleep in the bed. Put him like in the field. So the dad, who was a ventriloquist as well, not as well, but he's a ventriloquist, promised them no jokes on him this year. And Zane is actually played by Hayden Christensen, young Hayden Christensen, years before he going to star in George Lucas's Star Wars Episode 2 and 3. Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So, yeah. Which, I'm sorry, I did not like. I still did not like him. I don't like him in the Star Wars films. But here, of course, when I grew up watching, I didn't know who he was, so I think his performance in this was tolerable still to me. So I thought Hayden Christensen did fine in this episode of Goosebumps. So, but not in the Star Wars movies, and I did not like Jumper either, so, yeah. But I thought here he was fine in this episode, Hayden Christensen. So, and when Hayden Christensen as Zane, he's a little bit sketchy though, but he's like, all the stuff they're doing, all the stuff that's worse has been happening. It's like his foes getting messed up, or when he's asleep, the dummy is set in his room wearing a hockey mask. They believe that it was Trina and Dan who'd been doing the pranks. And before Zane came over, like in the opening, when his dad got himself a new dummy, which is Slappy, which he had a piece of him was broken, like in the episode, like in part 2, but his head got broken completely though. But here, his head is like almost intact except for one piece. It got glued on. Of course, when Trina reads the words that was on his pocket, reads the words, the spell that brings him to life. So then, but they believe that Trina and Dan were doing pranks on Dan. Trina and Dan are the ones that are being blamed for pulling the pranks on Zane. And then one time when their dinner gets ruined, and so the dad gets pissed at them, puts all the dummies in a box, and so because of this they won't be able to go to summer camp. Forget about it. So during the night they hide in the attic, see whoever's been doing this. And they hear Zane laughing. He's taking the dummies out, saying that he's got to put this in there, do this, and which, they never mess with me again. So he's the one that's been doing the pranks. So they catch him, and he's now doing the chores as punishment. So now that they're even now, so no more jokes on each other, and so they're so the Trina and Dan's parents are gonna go out for the night, and while it's going on, Slappy, who's not alive, he uses his special like breath. He brings Rocky, one of their dad's ventriloquist, to life. You know, he's like Rocky. He's like he's a dummy that's like not wearing a nice. It's kind of like a gangster a bit, you know, because he says like it's like, hey Rocky, you ready to have some fun? Sure, whatever you say, boss. You know, like when an Italian gangster says, you know, sure, boss. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, I liked Rocky. I thought he was a cool character, and I think the voice of Rocky is voiced by the guy who played Mr. Mortman from the episode of The Girl Who Cried Monster. He was a librarian, Mr. Mortman, who was the monster. I think he does the voice of Rocky. Couldn't tell a difference considering how he sounded in that episode. So, yeah. But I liked Rocky. I didn't like to. He's like, you know, oh sure, whatever you say, boss. Yeah. So the kids are alone, and they see that some dummies are like one on a fan, one in one of those water bottles, you know, from the you pour water in, and Slappy is there. And Zane insists to give Slappy give him a kick, and he says when he doesn't, but he does, and they run away from him, and I like where Slappy goes abracadabra, pulls the rug from under them. Oh, I love that trick. they tag him to the hits the recliner since of flying, and they put him into the trunk, and then push him down the well, and then since after that they're gonna go to sleep, but Slappy escapes from the box, coughs up a frog on Trina's bed. He's like, a frog in my throat. And so, but he sneaks into Zane's room, uses his breath, and turns him into a dummy. And Dan runs away. Daniel. Just like Daniel. He runs away, but they're trying to find a way to stop him. So they have an idea to read the card that brought him to life, read it backwards. They think that's the trick. So they go up to the attic, and Danny, since he's lighter, since the floor will creak less, he tries to get in. He's like, "Don't touch the merchandise." And then Rocky comes in, "Not so fast, there, lady." It's like he reaches to his bucket like this, like he's trying to pull it like this, like you know how gangsters when they try to reach for a gun in their coat like this. But yeah, I was like this. Not so fast, there, lady. So she gets the card. She reads it backwards, thinks it does, but didn't work. And Slappy's like, "Gotcha!" So he orders Rocky to, you know, just to get them, I guess. And then he's like, then Trina is telling Rocky, you know, you were Dad's favorite puppet. He was he made you part of our family. And it's like, I gave you life. Who are you gonna listen to, her or me? And then Rocky goes and punches Slappy, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Never go against the family." Gives another one, and then he goes and throws him out the window, and Slappy's hanging off the roof, and he's like, "Don't you get it? I'm invincible." And then I always liked this part because when it says that he gets struck by lightning, like lightning goes from the tent all the way down to the gutter, and then blows up Slappy. Which I always wondered if he said I'm invincible. I wondered if it was like if God heard him and then struck him down as he said that. I always wondered. I think it's funny. It's like when he said that God heard him and struck him down with lightning, as if it was like Zeus. You know, Zeus with his lightning bolts. You know, yeah, Zeus heard him, then just zapped him with his lightning, and then he blew up. I always thought that was funny. When he said that he thinks he's invincible, I thought God just struck him down with lightning and then just blew him up. I always thought that. That's the thing that always makes me laugh every time that I watch that scene. But yeah, it was a good little explosion when he blows up. Yeah, it was a good explosion. And then Rocky's back to being a puppet, and then Zane's back to normal. And then the next day, Trina thanks Rocky. As Zane's leaving, his head twists around, saying, "I'll be seeing you too, cousins." And then his head just goes all the way back around, and then like Trina and Daniel, they're looking on and like totally shocked faces. So yeah, Night of the Living Dummy. It's another great episode. I always enjoyed it, and like the actor, the group played Trina and Daniel, which the kid who played Daniel, he was in another episode. He was in Barking Ghost. Hayden Christensen, he was fine for his role as Zane. The voice acting as Slappy and Rocky were really good, and as well give to the credit to the actors who played the dummies. You know, you get little short people playing the dummies, so I get to give credit to their acting as well. So yeah, but I always enjoyed another episode that I grew up watching. Well, I grew up watching the whole series though, but it's the episodes I enjoy the most. Like the Werewolf Through a Swamp, the Haunted Mask, the Haunted Mask 2, Welcome to Dead House, How to Kill a Monster, Monster Blood, especially Monster Blood Part 2 I favor over the first one though, but yeah. But there's a lot of great, I guess The Girl Who Cried Monster, just a lot of great episodes. And this is another enjoyable one, oh yeah. A Night in Terror Tower, Stay Out of the Basement, love those episodes. But yeah, this is another great episode that I enjoy, so yeah, Night of the Living Dummy 3. Which I also got the Jigsaw Puzzle 2, along with the Werewolf Through a Swamp, so yeah. It's another great episode of Goosebumps. And it's a great time to review for it during Halloween month. Because the whole series of the TV series of Goosebumps is basically like Halloween episodes, because just the atmosphere and the dark atmosphere of the show, especially since it's a 90s, gives it that 90s look to it, which I miss. I love. It is always fitting to watch any episode of Goosebumps during the Halloween season, so yeah. But that's my review. That's my thoughts on the episode of Night of the Living Dummy 3. Another great episode, which I highly enjoy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next review for Halloween month. Later.